welcome back again to Nature Inspired. Today we will be doing our pests disease virus, I guess, management program. So what we're going to do, we're just going to show you a few challenges that we're having with our current field and what we use to treat it, or some of the things that we use, because it might be difficult to cover everything that we've ever used to treat it. So yeah, this is plot 2 again. We're now in the reaping stage, and we have been seeing, we're having some challenges with the Mosaic virus. We don't know if it is the TEV or some other kind, but if you look at these plants here in this section, it is evident that we're having some challenges with the virus. So the leaves, they start to look differently, start to look deformed. Some of them curl upward, and I don't think the production is as good on these ones. So, and again, we were told that this is called molting. So molting is when the leaves start changing colors. So the virus causes molting. Molting, I think that's the correct word. We were told is when the leaves start to change colors. You realize some part is dark, some part is lighter green, some part is darker green. So, but that is because of the virus that is causing a mutation in the cells of the leaf. So look, you see the leaves starting to change shape, they start to look deformed. So we use for that, so there's nothing that can really cure the virus. How it is controlled through pest control, because it is spread through aphids and mites, I think. So whatever sucking insect that pierces the leaves, they can transfer it from one plant to the next. So whether within your field or across your field and somebody else's field, you can have that level of transfer that then causes the virus to move across. But once, if the leaf is not pierced, if there's no exchange of sap, then it should be fine. What I also use to track the virus as compared to pests is that the older leaves, for me, I don't know if it's true scientifically, the older leaves tend to remain okay, but then the new leaves are the ones that are affected, and the new fruits. So the older fruits, they are also good, but the new fruits and the new leaves are the ones that are deformed. They start to have the deformity in the fruits. So the fruits start to look funny like this.
Can pick it.
So it could be it could be the sucking insects, or it could be the virus that cause it to start changing the shape. So the quality of the peppers start to drop. So for that, we use the Star. So the Star is a viricide, which it doesn't cure the crop, but what it does is it prevents it from infecting the new growth. So the ones that are already affected, those will stay affected, but the new growth and the new bearing should be good. How it was explained to us by Fersan is like, if you get the dengue virus, so what we use for that is the Star from Fersan. The Star is a viricide, and it prevents the virus from spreading to the new growth. So the new leaves and the new fruits should be good, but the ones that are already affected, those will remain affected. It won't change them back to being healthy again. So we use a Star for that. How we use that? We use Star 4 days apart for the first 2 applications, and then 1 week apart thereafter, continually using it on the crop to prevent it from taking over the trees. So that's it for the Mosaic virus. You look out for your molting, deformity of the leaves and the fruits, and we treat with star. Next, we talk about worms. So yes, worms do eat peppers. That's a worm eating this very small fruit, and it happens a lot through the plot. Now what we use for worms, we either use First Strike, Alverde,
Yeah.
or April. But I guess anything that has the same makeup as those could be used.
Or in the carb.
Or in the carb, yes. So anything that has the same input as those can be used to treat worms, because worms, they can do some damage to the fruits. You would think that it's hot pepper, so the worms won't be eating it, but they do. They do eat.
And that's applied at
So,
least every 2 weeks.
right. Or once per week in your usual mixture.
Once per week, yeah.
So that shape weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stressing. Okay.
Just feel like you can pull up everything. Hmm?
Yep.
Yeah, put it up and it'll produce.
So this is a very depressing section. If you look at the top of all the trees, see that the leaves are very tiny, very tiny, and rolled up. All the new leaves, even at the new leaves that are growing here, tiny and rolled up. Look at these leaves. Look at these leaves. Look at this.
They're actually curling up.
Uh-uh. No, they're curling under.
Curling under.
You see? So these are actually the leaves from the plants.
So that's another sign you can use.
So this, when they start looking like this, it's strips or mites, because they actually fold the leaf under. Whereas some things fold the leaf up, the picks and the mites, they suck from below, as far as we understand. So that's why it caused the leaf to look like that. This section was actually much worse last week. All the leaves were looking like this, looking like these. Everybody was looking like this. But we have been treating with some miticide. We use, let me try to tell you a few. We use Spectra and Sucker. We also use Caprid and Supermectin. And we have, just last week, we used Nizarn and Cure. So for the Nizarn and the Cure, we use that 5 days apart. That's the recommended dosage for the initial, because that, I think that's only used like once.
Yes,
for the
once
entire
per crop, yeah.
So we have used that already, but we continue weekly rotating the others that I have mentioned. The mites or thrips, I guess, also causes, they affect the older leaves as well. As I was saying, the virus for me, they don't really affect it that easily. It's usually the new growth. But these older leaves on these trees are also affected. And this is what the peppers start to look like, these brown spots. Again, or the start of deformity. Again, reducing the quality of the peppers. So this section is actually looking much better than it did last week. We still have the peppers that are not what we wanting to look like, but we continue to work on it. And we'll see what happens for it. But probably this is a mixture of virus and mites. But again, if you look at some of the trees, like the entire top was lost. Look at this tree. See how these leaves are big and fluffy? But these leaves, see the difference?
Well, these are new leaves compared to these right here. This was the order of the day last week.
Yeah,
Everything.
this and these.
So even though these are not perfect,
And look at this. This is all leaf. You say something, suck it out?
yeah.
Jeez. And again, the quality of the peppers down. That's just about 4 weeks of reaping, which is what we're getting now. So that would cover aphids, thrips, mites, whiteflies, all of which are sucking insects and can affect the quality of your output. We have not had whiteflies here.
Not good, yeah.
We've not had whiteflies here.
A flat one, we had a lot.
Right, so that's good. Hope to keep it that way. But we hope that we can improve the quality that we're getting if we can effectively treat these issues. What we also include in our bacteria.
Yes. Fungus.
We can go down this.
Yeah. Alright, come.
So when we spray, we also include foliar fertilizer. Foliar fertilizer we use to combat issues such as magnesium deficiency. So once you see the plant starting to lose the leaves starting to lose the color, starting to look a little yellow like this or like this, Google and the experts says it's magnesium deficiency. So we use not saying that's the only one, but what we use is the Maniplex line from Fersan that offers the micronutrients that the plants need. Because we do include magnesium in our nutrient program, but we still have this issue, so we use the foliar fertilizer to try to supplement where it's lacking. We had this issue the last time too when we had peppers here. They turn yellow like this, and then a lot of the leaves at the top just fell out.
Now they get extremely yellow.
So we're trying to manage that.
Let's rotate.
What's causing this? Calling all the experts. I have some peppers that has these spots. Points to note: when you are treating the field, ensure that you have a broad spectrum insecticide, one that covers mites, thrips, whiteflies, aphids. Those are common pests that affects Scotch bonnet peppers, and come like once them get away in it, it's very difficult to get them out. So as much as possible, try to prevent those from coming in. And then also you need to include a fungicide, because there are issues such as bacterial leaf spot. So also, I don't know what this is, but it's a fungus or a disease. So that has to be treated with a fungicide. What we have used on this set, we use Victory Plus from Fersan, and Mancozeb.
Yeah.
Mancozeb. We used to use.
We have used Topsin as well.
Okay, Topsin. We used to use Phyton and Silicox a lot. However, we were told very recently that because of the copper in it, or the size of the copper that's in it, it affects blossom. It causes the blossom to fall, or causes blossom end rot, I think. So once the plants start blossoming, don't use Phyton or Silicox. But they are usually very good for us, and we used to use it just once we start to notice any problems at all. We would use Phyton or Silicox. But now we have to be using ones that are not copper based, and so you just ensure that you include a fungicide in your mixture. So that's a fungicide, a broad spectrum pesticide, and I guess as needed you could use other pesticides, such as we use Discern and Cure, because we noticed the widespread mite damage in that section. Ensure that you read the labels for the mixture, how they are mixed, and also for the pre-harvesting interval. We take that very seriously.
What is pre-harvesting?
Because what it is it tells you how long after you spray you're able to reap, or you're supposed to reap. That window that ensures that the fruits are good enough for human consumption after they've been treated. So the pre-harvesting intervals, most of the bottles or containers, they would have it as PHI. So you check for that. Most of the miticides that we use, they are 5 to 7 days, so we ensure that we spray in time that we're able to pick or to reap. Or we use ones that have a shorter PHI. So that is something that we have to definitely consider.
Yeah, they have some organic fungicide like neem oil and.
Right. So you have like neem oil that you could consider as a fungicide. Phyton, why we liked it so much is it was one day pre-harvesting interval. But again, there are other things to consider with that. So this is what we're telling you. This has to be treated with a fungicide, because they are just going to, they turn yellow, then they dry, and they fall off, and the tree top look like that. Nothing on it. And the blossoms also go. So there are so many things to consider and to ensure that you prepare for or prevent against. So we also use green stem cytokine. They help with overall plant health and just kind of give the plants that extra boost that they need. We also use Bio 20, Fortify, that's it.
And Calmax B.
And Calmax B. So the Calmax B provides that extra calcium that they need. So all that is mixed within our weekly plan. And now we have to do weekly because we are noticing the different issues, the fungus, the mites, the virus. So that's where we are now. One thing also to consider is the pH of the water that you're using. We have acquired a pH meter which helps us to gauge what the pH is. Most fungicides, pesticides, they are best when you use them in a pH of between 5 and 6. So that's what we try to do. We use citric acid to increase the pH of the water before we add the pesticides or the fungicides to it.
Decrease the pH.
Well, decrease the pH, yes, because it's usually very alkaline. So we decrease the pH and then add the fungicide and the pesticide to it.
A little pH.
When we first started to do it, We actually burnt some of our corns because the pH was too low. So yeah, it's very important to have the meter and to know the range that you need to have. Some of the insecticides or the fungicides, they will tell you the ideal pH to use. So this is the high density plot. This has worked for us in terms of production. The main challenge again for us is just moving through, because the plants grow so closely together. So it's just about moving through and being able to treat the field or even to reap the field. So in the future, what we plan to do high density on one row, on one furrow, and then just one row on the other. So that will allow us to be able to move through more easily. So even though we have to deal with all the things that come with it, they also affect the low density. They also affect the low density plot. But high density is what we prefer at this time based on our experience. Come on. So this is plot 3, and this plot was not planted high density. It was actually planted 3 feet apart on the bank and 2 feet apart. So yeah, this is what it looks like compared to plot 2, which is the high density. We are already noticing some molting, but we continue to treat it and hopefully we can see improvements. We'll let you know if we do, but we're treating with the star right now. But we have some nice trees here. Yet to see the benefit over the high density. The trees are about the same size now. Well, when plot 2 was at this stage, trees are about the same size. So hopefully we will be able to update you on this plot and see what's happening with it. Yeah, we haven't reaped from this plot yet, so maybe we'll be able to do so soon.
Can you bring it a bag next week?
A bag? Maybe not. I don't think so. But
we'll finally put on the plastic on that.
Yeah.
Row.
So that is our how we treat our field, pest management and fungus and virus. So we hope that you will continue to watch our videos, subscribe, leave a comment, and let us know what you do on your plot or what any suggestions that you might have. We're open to it. Again, thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe, share, and leave a comment. Thank you.
Yeah, go check if it turned on. Plot 2, did I drip?
What, never see that drip inside.
Yeah man, this is some water drip. We have to really change the hose and now. And how we ever run the hose, the plastic is already on.
Yeah, on top of it. Like, look there. All of them there, they don't.
In the section. Oh yeah?
this not get no water.
If you not get no water, you not get no nutrient. Already. Low nutrients and just not have the health to survive any exposure at all.